This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, I think only I see Tahira in the session. So any questions from your side at this moment, Tahira?
No, Pradeep, I'm good. I think I am clear on the last week's concepts. I mean, the last session's concepts.
Sure, great. Let me see if someone is joining. Yeah, hi Ganesh. Yeah, welcome. So, all right, we should be in a good position to start now. I'm able to share the screen or to see the screen, control it. So yeah, before I proceed, so Ganesh, any questions from your side as well?
What is it, Pradeep? Sorry.
Any questions from your side?
No, I'm good, Pradeep. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So the earlier sessions we were talking about the calculated fields, and let's go quickly and review the calculated fields, and we have a few more to complete, and we'll move on to the next topic once we complete this. So first of all, I'll just do start proxy. Start proxy, then okay, Logan ED. All right, so report definition RD colon WP and WP or WR. Okay, calc. Okay, WP is correct. Calc field report. Let's open this and just quickly review as what we have completed and finish off some of this. So scroll a little down to see. We have done lookup related value, text length, convert text to number, then true or false condition, evaluate expression band, evaluate expression, concatenate text, increment, decrement date, date difference, arithmetic calculation, build date, constant, format date. Then we discussed on substring, format number, extract single instance, multi-instance, count related instances. This is what we discussed. Okay, so let me make it so another shortcut. Okay, sorry, something happened here. This is, I think, recruiting dashboard. Now I'll just go to create field. Now I'll just try to see what all we missing. So we understood what is lookup related value, and there are some lookup fields. Let's go check them. So lookup related fields wise, you will see and use lookup related value much widely, much majorly, lookup related value and lookup value as of date for a particular given date. What is the value? So let's go check that one out. Okay, let's say worker and field name. What is the field name? WP lookup value as of date. Click OK. Source field. What is the concept here? So if you notice, lookup value as of date. We know what is lookup related value. When you are taking a source and you wanted some information about that source. In our case, we saw manager and manager's employee ID. So source was manager level 01, and the target value that we were looking at was manager's employee ID. So in this case, what we will take is we need workers manager at some point in time, right? So we need workers manager at some point. Let's say source field manager level 01. So by simply getting the manager level 01, you already have a field called manager level 01 in your worker. But what will it give? The latest manager as of today. Okay. What is the requirement that we are talking? We need a manager for the employee at the time of hire. Who was the manager at the time of hire? Who was the manager 1 year back? So you can define that date. So as of a particular date, as of an entry date. So one of these fields are must. So that's the reason you don't see either of them marked as mandatory. But if you try to save it, it will throw an error saying that put at least one value. So we'll go to effective date. As we are saying, as of hire date. Hire date is the date that you wanted to consider. Hire date. So say okay. As of hire date, I want the manager. Let's try to use this in our report. So let's close this and try to go for report. RD colon, or we can go for edit custom report. Another task, by the way. So instead of going through report and then going there, it's another way of doing it. Edit custom report and key in your report name. WP calc. Editing your custom report. All right, in this report, we can make use of that particular field called this one. So in the meantime, let me just copy this one. So every day they're using different systems. Okay. Just trying to save this so that we can use it. All right, so another calculation. So there is something called as translate value. If at all you have your organization having global presence and you want to translate the values into different languages, you can use translated values. And Where's that? And what is the other majorly used? A range band. I think we discussed this. Lookup range band. Is it? Oh, no, yeah, we'll discuss this. Lookup range band is also one of them, which we use it majorly. Worker. WY lookup range band. Excuse me. So here, what is the condition? What is the scenario? If, by the way, this is a range which talks about number. As the name suggests, it's a number, and you are trying to set a range and then giving some definition for it. So lookup means looking up for a range, and defining what you need as a return value. So there are two types of source fields. One is sorry, not this one. So typically, not source field. Source field would be your number or number or decimal currency value. So you can see all those values. When I say all, it gives you numeric or decimal so that you can see the numbers. We have something called as W. Why am I saying WY? Supposed to be WP, right? Click OK. So did I create as WY, WP? Okay. Source field, as I say, we have created something called as WP convert currency. Remember, whenever you are using convert currency, what was that we used? Convert currency. It was right next to our total base pay annualized amount, right? I'm sure we have created it. Anyone could remember we have used convert currency? Surprised not to see here. WP currency. Oh, probably we haven't yet created that convert currency. Okay, let me try do that. Tenant is also a bit slow. Okay, let's go for worker. But I'm somewhere it is. I'm sensing that we have used it. I don't want to recreate it. This is a report temporary for 8/4. Okay, that's okay. Click OK.
I'm sorry, Pradeep. I am not able to recall this convert currency. I'm trying to think, but it's not coming to me, so I can't
Okay.
help you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, in that case, we'll just create it. Okay, so yeah, no harm. So worker Maybe we haven't covered it also, that could be possible. So worker convert currency. Where do you use this convert currency? So as we run the report, let's say run, I'll tell you the scenario where we use this. I mean, if you are maintaining one system, right, I would have obviously went there and checked it out. So scroll down towards the total BSP annualized amount. We went for format number. Yeah, I know now. So we just did the format number, but we didn't touch about the currency, convert currency. What convert currency does is it converts from one currency to another currency. In this case, if you notice, few of them are US dollars, few of them are like GBP, which is Great Britain pound, and some of them are euros, some of them are Canadian dollars, and so on and so forth. You want to make sure that all your currency is in the same format, same currency. You're converting your currency to bring it to a baseline. Why is the reason? I'll tell you. Okay, convert currency is the function that we use. WP convert currency, click OK. What happened? Element content. Oh, come on. Element content business object is required on internal class. Create calc field start. Something went wrong maybe. So I'm just going for a new fresh start. Typically there shouldn't be an error. Yeah, there is something wrong here. Create calc field. Convert currency and worker business object. Ah, come on. The element content business object is required or create. I don't know what's wrong with this. Convert currency. Oh, is it same for any function or only for this? Let's check this out. Arithmetic calc. Say okay. Empty required param. Something is going wrong. I'm just randomly picking up one more calc field to see if there is any issue. Oh yeah, there is some serious problem here, which I don't know. Empty required param calc field espresso. There is some system issue. That's what I can make out. Let's close this. Okay, fine, fair enough. Let's try to see with the existing conditions at least. I want to see if this works or not. So total base pay annualized amount. And how many decimal places you want to return it. So notice that it says the total base pay annualized amount is a currency field. So when you're looking up a range band for this currency field, if you have different currencies, it can produce erroneous results. That's the reason I was just trying to get a converted currency so that I have all the data in the same currency format. Okay, let's try to see what this talks about and how you want it. What is your desired output? So what I wanted to define or get is, so those people who are having a salary of 60,000 or below, I want to define them as low income group. In some of the reports, I don't want to show what amount of what salary they are getting. In some of the reports that I'm sending it to some other teams or groups or departments, I want to just hide all the salaries and all the stuff. So, but they wanted to know maybe for their analysis or so on and so forth. So we are going to say this is the range, and if the employee falls in between this range, I want to say low income group. Same way. So automatically picks up the +1 and 150, or maybe 150 is too exorbitant. So 120, I'll say mid income group. Same way, and defining the range and the band for it. So now 120 to 200,000. I would like to call it as high income group, and anything above 200,000 I would call it as exorbitant. Right, exorbitant. So remember that you cannot put 0. You need to put something higher than this value. So in your case, if you have an upper limit, just go put it. Otherwise, just pull some highest number so that that will be the max cap for your limit, right? So decimal places, if you wanted to go with the decimal places, 2 places or 3 places, just go for it. And rounding down or up, so it's a normal thing. Click OK. Create another calculation. I'll just try it one more time, okay? Worker business object, and I see something on my convert currency. Click OK. Yeah, this time it went through. See, I don't know what the issue is basically, maybe with different tabs or something. Okay, let's see. Source currency amount field. What is my source currency? Total base pay annualized amount. So that's my base pay amount, base amount that I want to convert. Target currency code field. What is the target currency? If I have USD, Canadian dollars, or Australian dollars, or Singapore dollars, and so on, I want to bring it to one target currency. Which one it is? In my case, I want to just say USD. If you want INR, yes, you can go for it. As of date field, as of what date you wanted this conversion to be happening. You can say pick up a current moment or a particular moment back in date. So I'll say when I say current moment, it picks up the current whenever I'm running it. It says currency rate type. You can go for the current rate type and return 0 on error. So if at all this process runs up to 0, so errors, it will show up 0 instead of error. Okay. Now, sometime back we used other currency, right? We'll try to use this one so that you get the results accurately or appropriately. We'll try to run this first thing in place, or add these fields first in place and come back to edit so that we know what we are trying to achieve it. Actions, quickly edit this. Come on, yeah. Let's quickly add the fields here. Where is the amount? Did I bypass? Okay, here we have. Let's go for this. First thing I would say, convert currency. Next, I would go for WP lookup a range band. And the next thing would be, what is the first thing that we have done? Lookup value as of date. Let's copy this. I'll just write next to the manager field. I'll just put it so that we know the difference. Yeah, here I go, manager level 1. That's the actual field which is already present in worker business object. And this gives you as of hire date, what was the, who was the manager. Let's click OK. Let's try to see the results and validate the results. Now let's try to validate our calculations. Now I should see something on the manager level, right? Okay. Now I see for this employee, Steve Morgan, for this person, Adian. So right now the current manager is Joy Banks. However, the person whom at the time of hiring manager was Teresa Serrano. It goes on, like Teresa Serrano was hiring manager at that time, but current manager is this person. As of effective date, as of certain value, you are getting the value. That's about that. Next, going towards the right on the salaries and stuff. Okay, now here you see total base pay analyzed amount is 120,000. So till 120,000, it was mid-income group, right? 60 to 120 was mid-income group. So likewise, we got the lookup range band. Okay, converted currency. Notice that this is the converted currency into US dollars. This is what exactly our preferred currency was, right? Preferred currency is USD, which is showing up here. So for each of them, it shows these values. If you notice, let's take one example so that we can make out. So the scrolling does not listen to me. Okay, so hold on here. So if you notice, yeah, this is also fine. This is also fine. 83,883 becomes mid-income group. Obviously, in our case, it's 60,000 to 120,000. That's the reason they are both. For example, assume that the Amy Frost total base pay amount was 130,000. Okay, that was Canadian dollars. What happens is your lookup range band is looking at this field and giving you. When you're doing that, you're not doing it justice or correct job on identifying the range bands, because this is a different currency and this is a different currency. How can you make or how can you say that this is a mid-income group and this is also a mid-income group, right? So when you're considering your lookup range bands, make sure that you are using your converted currencies, which is in a unique or same currency, right? Let's go back and edit that. So I'm not seeing concrete results as I can show you, but maybe if there is some Indian salary or something, you can easily make out. Let's see one example. That way you can be confident, right? So low income group. Okay, here is a good example. Notice that this is Great Britain pound, right? Ideally, the salary was 54,887, which in our case was supposed to be a low income group, if at all it is a US dollars. But converted currency gives you 70,000, which is in the next level. This is supposed to be a mid-level, mid-income group, not a low income group, correct? So when you use the correct converted currency, it obviously gives you mid-level income. So you can go change that source field from this to this, then you get it this. So I'm not doing that at this moment. Let's go for another calc field if at all we are missing any. There are a few more calc fields which are related to supervisory organizations, but we typically don't use that much. But if you are more interested to learn those also, yeah, you can. We have some documents that you can go through. So what are they? So hierarchy related or organization roles and stuff like that. What else? As of date, we discussed translated value, related value, range band. So only 5 or 6 calc fields. As I said, we are leaving it. So date roll up field with prompts. So we'll just check this one last. Worker. WY, WP, lookup. This speaks as the name suggests, it's talking about the prompts that you wanted to set up based on the fields. So you can use the source field and get providing some input as a prompt. So I haven't actually worked on this particular calc field, but yeah, let me just show something. Create calc field on lookup field with prompts. Let's say the source field is manager level 01. Or let's see what are the source fields that it is allowing us to do. Oh, is this true or false conditions? Typically, it's showing some organizations and stuff. Let's go to referral points or something. Okay. So it gives you the prompts values like start date or end date depending upon the field that you select basically. And you remember in our report definition, you have something called as filters and prompts. So here also based on some prompt values, so it's going to return some value for this particular referral points. What is the start date and end date for this employee? How many referral points he has earned? Probably that's probably one of the best use case you can think about. So how many referral points he gained in a period of 1 year or 2 years, right? So you can just go with specify value. If you wanted to just go for a default or a constant, you want to determine value at runtime, right? You can use the value which you wanted. Say last year, first day of last year. Sorry. First day last year. So these are the constant, these are the dynamic values. So every time you run it, it picks up based on what you have chosen. So every time it gives you last year's count, last year's value. So let's say determine value at runtime. Last day of last year. So these are the variable values that changes. Last day of last calendar year, which means January 1st, 2019 and December 31st, 2019. So between this range, I wanted what is the referral points. Next year, if you run this particular field or the value for that report, it gives you 2020 results. So that's the dynamic prompt values that you can use, or sometime back as I showed you, you can use your static values like specify value. Instead of using specify value, you can go for static dynamic values like this. There are a few other fields like last day of last month, first day of last month, mid of last month, like that. There are many global fields that you can use it for this one. So yeah, I'm not sure if there are any referral points that are present, but just we are picking it up as one pointer for us. And you can go and use that. As per that particular prompt values, it's going to return the results for you, right? So you can go and use it. Okay, I'll just mark an end at this point for calculated fields so that we can proceed further. Yeah, any questions at this moment? We have been driving through for quite a good time.
No, not from my side, Pradeep.
I'm good as well.
Okay, all right, yeah, great. So now, without any further delay, we'll just try to jump into our EIBs or integrations part. Let's go back to the home page, and meanwhile, let me just pull the PPT so that we can talk about something on the integrations front. Let's go to PPTs. What is this? Integrations PowerPoint presentation. Yeah. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll just be back. Yeah, sorry about that. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the integrations part. So I'll speak about this integrations for some time and then get going with the tenant. Let's make it a full screen. What's happening? Okay, it's not going for the full screen for different reasons. All right, so what is integration? So as the name suggests, you are integrating more than one system, right? So we might have heard in different places that integrating systems like that, right? So it is nothing but you are doing a handshake of data between two systems or more than one system, we can say. In this context, let's try to understand what this particular scenario or picture depicts. We can't do this. Okay, fair enough. Let's assume that we are standing on Workday platform. Okay, so yeah, I wish I had the drawing to help explain you guys. I actually don't have this option. Many times this is a challenge over here. So when they are sharing and I don't have the drawing mode, or let's see here. Yeah, something is here. Okay, let me take a pen if it works. Okay, so I'll try my best. So here, let's say we are standing on Workday. Okay, so when we are on Workday, we have all the core information, like worker data or payroll information or whatever, all Workday related employee information, we have it. So what happens with the other systems is, for example, your organization has moved from one system to other. So in our case, let's assume that it's a SAP. Okay, it's an SAP which you have moved from SAP to Workday. It's not that all the systems within SAP, all modules or functional areas were moved to Workday. Some of them would still be in SAP. Say, for example, talent or financials or payroll is still in SAP. You want to send the core information of Workday, that is core HCM data, that is biodemographical information, back to SAP on a regular basis for rest of your modules to work, right? The rest of your modules are payroll, finance, or any other modules that SAP is still maintaining. So understand that whenever your organization migrates or moves from one system to other, it doesn't mean that they scrap this one totally and then move it. They first initially go with certain modules or certain functional areas, and they keep this as a backup. And there are organizations which maintain both of them for different modules. Right? They don't maintain for the same module, by the way, different modules. What happens? Your SAP will be dependent on Workday for your HCM information because you are maintaining the core HR information in Workday. You need to send data back to SAP and receive some information from SAP. You need to integrate the systems, right? So in this case, we are talking about Workday and external system. This external system could be SAP, that is the legacy system we call. We call this as a legacy system. I'm not able to write also. Okay. We call this as a legacy system. Or if you wanted to send information from Workday to a third party payroll system, say ADP or Ceridian or few other payroll vendors, right? So you are the source and they are the target. And few other benefit vendors where you wanted to send the core biodemographical information, or people who have opted for some benefits. So all those information you wanted to send it to third parties. So in that case, you use this integrations. Firstly, we are just trying to understand what is integration. We did not get in depth or in detail of what Workday is offering to us. Okay, so when you stand on this particular stage, that is Workday, and sending outside your data, we call that as a outbound. When you as a Workday is at the receiving end, right, we call that as a inbound because you're receiving it. Right, hope you're getting what is inbound, what is outbound, and why you need to send the data from one system to other system. So in this case, maybe you wanted to load the data back from payroll system, that what are the calculations that they may have done or summaries that they have done, paychecks that they have generated back to Workday, because you may not have be running a payroll in Workday. Your system of record is only for Workday core HCM. Payroll is not in your system. So you send demographic information to them and then they crunch the data and then try to get your payroll checks or paychecks generated, and those paychecks you wanted to load it back to Workday. So this is a inbound, this is a outbound. So these are the scenarios. So let me try to see if I can erase it. I'm truly not sure what we can do. Okay, let's remove this. Yeah, that will go off. So that's outbound and this is inbound. So where you are standing represents what kind of information you are receiving, or rather which way of integration you are doing, whether it is an inbound or outbound. As we represent Workday, we stand on Workday and say if we are sending data to outside, we call it as an outbound, and when you're receiving it, you call it as an inbound. Now let's go ahead and talk something more about this. So in outbound, the data is provided by Workday. Obviously we have the data, we send it. Outgoing data may be transformed. What does this mean? You are transforming the data from one form to other form. All Workday data is in the form of XML. We call it as Workday XML, extensible markup language, right? So whenever you extract data from Workday, it gives you in the form of XML. So not necessary that all the data will be extracted in XML. There are alternate output methods that Workday offers to us, like CSV format or Excel sheets or so on and so forth. But basic Workday data is in the form of XML, extensible markup language. We call that as Workday XML. There is something called as simple XML. So in my blog, you can see the difference between how you can differentiate simple XML and Workday XML, and few other concepts on all these integrations. So I suggest you to go ahead and read those. Coming to the context. So outgoing data may be transformed. So as you're saying that the Workday data is in the form of Workday XML, so your third party is not ready to accept in the same format as what you are supposed to be getting, right? They want it in some other format, like say TXT format, .csv format, or a fixed length format. So any of those things that they are expecting, then you need to transform your outgoing data. That we will apply transformation methods that Workday offers. Scheduling, so you can schedule your integration in order to send the data in a regular intervals of time. It could be a monthly schedule or a weekly schedule or a daily schedule or an hourly schedule or a minute schedule. We'll see that. Encryption, if you want to send the data from Workday to outside world, you want to encrypt that data if at all, right? So that encryption you can apply. So that's outbound. And inbound, data is fed to Workday. So from external parties, you are receiving it. Incoming data is transformed into Workday compliant format. So typically Workday also has its own way of accepting the data, and it needs Workday compliant format. That is Workday web services we use in order to get a data into Workday. Same thing, scheduling and encryption, you'll be able to do it. So this is in generic integration architecture, like going on outbound or inbound. As we all knew in our course content, what are the content we are going to discuss? There are three types of integrations that Workday offers to us. One is EIB, that is Enterprise Interface Builder. Second one, core connectors or cloud connectors. Third one, Workday Studio. These are the three different ways that you can integrate systems. So we'll slowly and steadily understand what each of these integrations talk about and what are the limitations and what are the advantages of each of these three integration methods. So at this stage, you should be in a position to understand what is inbound, what is outbound, what is integration, and so on. Okay, stepping forward. EIB. First, we'll talk about EIB and try to understand how you will be able to build a EIB integration. So EIB is Enterprise Interface Builder. EIB is in the cloud application, integration on demand. Whenever you want, you can access this EIB. No software, no hardware, no programming. So here is the difference between inbound and outbound. We know the description, but we'll talk about the example. So let's see first outbound. Export all active worker. Yeah, is it good? Okay, fine enough. Export all active Workday employees in an Excel spreadsheet. So notice what is the data you're sending? All active Workday employees in an Excel spreadsheet. So this is the format that they are expecting, Excel spreadsheet, to E-Trade Equity Edge. This is the external third-party vendor. You want to send it how? Through SFTP service, delivery service. So you're sending data to external party through SFTP. Okay, that's outbound. Import, so inbound, import and employee bonus data into Workday in the form of Excel spreadsheet that you provide to Workday in an attachment. So you are accepting data in the form of Excel sheet to load that into Workday. Why do you need that information? Maybe you wanted to load all the bonus information for a given year or a period. So you want to load it back into Workday. So that's maybe usually one-time payments and all those things. Okay, so that's inbound and outbound. So we're just talking about the examples, what exactly it looks like. Things like that. Typically in your EIB, there are three phases. One is retrieve data, transform data, and deliver data, right? What is the data that you want to send? Okay, just a second. I think it went off. Yeah. I don't know which actions is happening. Come on. When the time approaches, the systems are pretty slow. I don't know. Okay, hold on. Now scroll a little. You're giving hard time. Come on. Okay, let me pass the cursor here at this moment, so I'm not touching it. Okay, so retrieve data, transform data, and deliver data. So obviously you need to have some data to send, right? What they are expecting. So that's what we do it in our retrieve data, or we can say get data. There are two different types of data sources that we can deploy. One is custom report, which is the one which we have sometime created, like calculated field report or advanced report, right? We can mark them as web service enabled in our advanced tab and bring them onto your EIB. So that's custom reports. Web service APIs. So you can use web service APIs that Workday offers and use those get services and access that data and put it in your report. Okay, so that's two ways. We'll talk about that. Transform data. So if you wanted to send the data in a prescribed format that your third party or vendor is expecting, so obviously you need to transform the data whatever you got. They want it in some other format, maybe CSV or comma separated or tab separated, pipe delimited, anything for that matter of fact. So you want to transform the data. There are a couple of methods that you can see: delivered transformations and custom transformations. Any of this you can see. Next comes deliver data. How you want to deliver your data to your third party or your vendor. So there are different methods that you can deploy to send information, right? So that is emails or FTP, SFTP, Amazon Web Service, Workday attachment. So typically Workday attachment won't send anything, but yeah, that is also another delivered method, by the way. So these are the ways that you will be able to send information from one party to other party. It is in our case, it's an outbound. We're talking about outbound as a first initial start for the EIB. So I think I don't want to start it right now, as we have just ended time 10:01 Central Time at this moment. We'll tomorrow start with straight up creating an EIB. The task for creating an EIB is create EIB. So I'll just give it to you a glance so that you know what I'm doing. The task name goes create. Come on. I don't know, the system is slow or what happened. Something is getting clicked. Create EIB. So it gives you the option whether you want an inbound EIB or an outbound EIB. This is a task. So you can name it and then go for it. So we'll talk about this tomorrow. So tomorrow onwards, we'll get into this. All right. Any questions at this moment before I let you go, guys?
No, Pradeep.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a great day ahead. We'll catch up tomorrow. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.